is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Comey Media Incorporated. Jimmy Fallon getting canceled? Why? Next on Mentality. Welcome once again to another installment of Mentality, the show where iron sharpens iron in the realm of health, wealth, mental health, love, and entrepreneurship, all from a man's perspective. I am one half of the team, one of the co-hosts of this program, Cole Johnson, and I am joined as always by the other co-host and the other half of this show, one Mr. Wize El Jefe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well.
Run down. Now, the grand jury in Georgia that investigated Donald Trump recommends now criminal charges against 3 of his U.S. Senate allies. Those allies would be Senator Lindsey Graham and former Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. And this is according to the panel's report released this past Friday. Besides those senators, the Fulton County Special Grand Jury, which couldn't issue indictments, recommended charges against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, lawyer Lynn Wood, and Trump aide Boris Epshteyn. The grand jury cited a statute alleging commission of a crime without specifying the offense. The special grand jury recommended charges against all 16 Republican alternate electors who met to support Trump despite President Joe Biden winning the state. Only 3 of those electors were indicted with Trump, which would be the Georgia Republican Party Chairman David Schaefer and State Senator Sean Steele, along with Kathy Latham. My question to you, sir, is which one of the 3 that the Georgia grand jury said that they want to bring charges upon is going to dime old Donald Trump out?
All of them? I don't know. Listen, I just find this funny, man. I find this funny that now this is the man who's screaming, "Oh, the election is rigged. The election is rigged," and now he is the one who's getting indicted on those charges. I just they are really in their powers. They're trying to get him out of this race, man. That's just how I feel. I feel they really want him out this race, so they will bargain with all these people that they got and say, "Listen, give up the orange man, and we might go lenient on you. Might serve a couple of months in Fed, a few months in Fed joint, which is Club Fed, and so, but give us the orange man." And then they're going to use that leverage to force him to drop out of the race, and which would be crazy. Is that's the only way they're going to get any of the candidates to win. They have to eliminate Trump, so they're going to do it by any means necessary. They're going to offer these people immunity, whatever, but they are after him. Let's not get it confused.
Oh my gosh. Give up the orange, man. Oh Lord. So I was invited this past Friday to an all men's panel, Brothers Legacy. Man, those brothers are awesome. Thank you, AD, for inviting me on the platform. And they were actually talking about this. And so one of the brothers asked us if, and actually asked me specifically, do I think that Trump is going to go to jail? I said no. I said no, he's not going to go to jail. He's going to, and if he does, because to me, I think all he has to do is say, I'm dropping out of the race, and all the charges will fall. And he won't do that until he gets in one of these back rooms and he cuts a deal saying, okay, now if I drop out this race and you drop all the charges, you're not going to come up with new trumped up charges against me. That's the only way I can see all of this going away. And I can actually see that happening. So I'm with you. I'm thinking this is all this is all to stonewall Trump from becoming the president again. It is hilarious to me. It's hilarious the lengths that the U.S. government is going through to stop him. We'll talk about it. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Well, he had to deal with a shooting week before last in Jacksonville, and 3 people were killed at it. So he attended the area to give his thoughts, and he was roundly and soundly booed. And then after that, one of the family members of the 3 that got killed uh, reflected in saying that yeah, he just ain't really, he just really ain't it. He's not that guy. And was really pointed in his criticism toward DeSantis. Well, DeSantis, being the strong-willed guy that he was, he fired back. Oh yeah, he fired back, and he said something to the effect of, quote, "There is the truth, and there is something about the truth. It's not everyone doesn't have their own truth. No, you don't get to come here and blame me for some madam. That is not appropriate, and I'm not going to accept it." Close quote. Now, this attack is being investigated as a hate crime. The Jacksonville shooting is. My question to you about Mr. DeSantis, sir, or I should say Governor DeSantis. How can I phrase it? Here we go. Why is that man so chronically tone deaf?
I don't know, bro. It blows my mind with this dude. Like, it's okay. It's one thing when this is your state and a tragic accident, it's not accident, but a tragedy. A tragedy happens where a shooter who is white goes into a Dollar General in a predominant black neighborhood,
correct,
and starts letting off rounds on people. That lady that was in her car, that was crazy.
Yeah,
he shot her in her car.
Yes, sir.
So condone it, do something, say like, no, this is, you need to say something like, this is unacceptable, this is condone this violence. And to go a little bit further, me and Poppy kind of feel like this kind of has to do with the Alabama ball. This kind of, I think this feels kind of motivated him more to do this, because everybody was pushing it as, oh, look at this race war going on in Alabama. That's what they was promoting it as. This is what everyone was, oh, black wars, and so I could, and honestly, we know it was, but it was something that it was just being promoted everywhere. Everybody had their jokes. Everybody had their moment with it. People was cheering on with the chairs. But how do we know that? How do we not know that this might have pushed this person, that individual, over the edge.
Now, switching to the other side of the aisle, and we've been dealing with inflation for the last couple of years. And we've also had a president that has been similar the last couple of years. So the hit to the average budget has been huge these last 2 years for Americans because a typical household now spends over $200 more. And this is uh, this is a chief economist Mark Zandi's study that he did back in July. The typical household spends more than $200 more in July than they did July of last year to buy the same goods and services. People, especially with annual earnings of less than 100,000, are trying multiple strategies to stretch their dollars, according to Dallas Fed, from delaying major purchases and medical treatment to decreasing the use of utilities and tapping charities. With Biden saying Bidenomics works, we talked about one person who's tone deaf. Why does this president not see these woes? Why is he out of touch so badly?
Dude, he's 80-something years old, man. He's early stages, Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever you want to say. He's early stages of something, and he needs to go. Just, I don't even know why he wants to run again. Like, why don't the powers that be just let him go out to pasture and go out in the sunset? And if I don't need to shoot him, but like, just put him out to pasture. Just put him out to pasture. Like, give us. This is what's wrong with the Democratic Party right now. They have an opportunity to, and they're stubborn too. They're stuck to their ways.
They're very stubborn. Yes.
Like, there's nobody in that party that really. There's no future. I don't see none. It's with, like, I just see Nancy Pelosi running again.
That is scary.
Why?
That's
Nancy
them right
Pelosi?
there is scary.
Why, Nancy Pelosi? Why are you running again? That's term limits need to be implemented. Age limit needs to be implemented. These things need to go into place because these dinosaurs that have been walking around since Jesus Christ's time need to get out of office. They just need to get out of office.
We're just getting started. Mentality will return.
You have to learn to live with yourself before you can make a commitment of yourself to someone else.
When you go to something that's already structured, like the church, I don't need to go in there thinking I'm the pastor. It's like already one set up, you know what I'm saying?
It just had everything, but I learned, you know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I learned from.
So we look forward to seeing you same time, same place. Know that we love you, God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble.
Conversation that informs a community. Brothers of Legacy. Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
This is all docked up.
Chris. Listen, I gotta go to work, Jay. I cannot take a shot every time we say enemies. Very jealous. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. BJ.
So he flies her out. She says, "Thank you. That was very kind of you." Like, Pernilla's not starstruck. She was like, "Yeah, you ought to if you want me to come." I wasn't gonna put the bill.
Heroes.
He literally threatened her. His message says, "I see you blocking me on WhatsApp. I don't know why, but this is not gonna turn out good for you. Because I blocked you on WhatsApp? You threatened me and my mama?"
Welcome back to Mentality, where men are men and they're not machines. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, and the Tonight Show. We love the Tonight Show, right? Well, we might have to look at the Tonight Show a little differently these days. Welcome to Celebrity Style. Late night talk show host Jimmy Fallon, he may have been off air for a long time because of the writer's strike, but the Tonight Show is getting center stage focus. And why is that? Well, in a Rolling Stone investigation published last week, the 2 current and 14 former employees of the NBC talk show say that their experiences working on the show included declining mental health, intimidation from higher ups, including the 48-year-old Fallon himself, and poor treatment because Fallon's erratic behavior. The staffers whose jobs ranges from production crew to office employees and writers all requested anonymity out of fear of retaliation. Of the more than 80 Tonight Show employees, past and present, who were contacted, no one who spoke with Rolling Stone senior entertainment reporter Christy Lee Yandoli agreed to speak on record or had positive things to say about working on said program. Still, many of them praised Fallon's immense talent and comedic gifts. I will start by this question. Now, Jimmy has been on the Tonight Show, I believe, 9 years. Why hasn't the alarm bells rung earlier about such a toxic environment?
First of all, let's start off with the fact that this is Rolling Stones, the same magazine that was trying to paint an ugly picture of Jonathan Majors prior to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon has a toxic environment, workplace, and nobody wants to speak on the record.
Nobody
wants to speak on the record. Mm-hmm. Nobody got the balls to really be. They want to talk. Oh yeah, interview me, yes, but don't say my name.
Don't say my name.
But this is what happened. This is what they did. Like, Rolling Stone is really losing a lot of credibility with me.
It's unfortunate.
The Jonathan Majors situation, first of all, where they were trying to label him an abuser and really trying to get people to turn on him and say, "Oh, like, he doesn't deserve his opportunities. Look at him; he's an abuser."
Mm-hmm.
Which me and you, we from the beginning, we said it was fishy. We didn't think he did anything, and it turned out that we was right.
Mm-hmm. And we still feel that way to this moment.
Yeah. So I don't. Rolling Stones, to me, I could care less.
I figured when I mentioned Rolling Stone, I would get that reaction out of you.
Yeah, no, I don't. They're not. Then to me, especially if you're getting sources that don't want to be on the record, because now how do I know these are not disgruntled employees? Maybe they got fired because they were sleeping on the job or weren't doing their job correctly.
Or something of their own. Something of their own.
It's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
It's always somebody else's fault. Oh, my mental health, whatever. Like, you no longer employed. I want to know why. What did you do that you're no longer employed here? What was the purpose? What happened? So, and I'm sure they didn't say what happened, but they want to say, oh, it was a toxic work environment. They yelled at us or whatever it is. Whatever. All right, so put your name to it. Put your name to it. That's it. That's why we when we say what we say it. It's live. Whatever we say here is live. We put our names on it.
Yes, sir.
That's just how we feel. When I
take one syllable back. Exactly.
It's my opinion of that person. I can care if they can't, because I'm sure they don't give a about my opinion of them. Like I could care less of anyone's opinion of me. But these are my opinions, and I'm gonna express them. So when one of you anonymous resources or whatever are willing to grow some balls and put your name to it, then to me it's just hearsay. If you're gonna accuse this man of such a thing,
he has a right to defend himself against his
who,
accusers.
who,
Yes.
who to let me know who you are. Let me know when I offended you. Like it's ridiculous, but again, we're quick to attack people, from whatever. People you got people saying, oh, they did this to me, they did that to me. And we're quick to, well, not us necessarily, but society is quick to jump on their side and be like, oh, it's got to be true.
Right.
Without no proper investigation, without anything really truly being investigated. It's just hearsay. But we're going to put it out there and not put out the whole facts, because we don't have the whole facts. We just have accusations.
Right.
And we just write a story.
Right. Yeah. Which leads me to my next question, because some of the accusations are bullying and racist microaggressions. Now, you've seen The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, so have I. So have that picture of Jimmy Fallon that we see and that we've even seen away from his programming and interviews, and those accusations. If this is true, why were these bullying and racist microaggression tactics allowed?
First of all, do I think Jimmy Fallon is a racist? No, I don't think
he's not a racist. He's not a racist.
He has the Roots as his band.
Thank you. I was about to say that's a categorical no.
He has the Roots
just from that alone
as his band. Questlove as his program director, his music director.
The music director.
Loves hip hop. Is friends with a lot of hip hop artists.
Yeah, many of them. I'm surprised I'm surprised he's friends with as many of them as he is.
Again, they can say whatever they want. Again, Rolling Stones to me has lost some credibility with the previous story, with the Jonathan Majors story. So now with this, again, anonymous sources. Be a man or be a woman and put your name to it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I gotta say. I'm like, just grow a pair.
Yeah, put your name on it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Now I'm just asking this question because I want to laugh. So what should NBC do in terms of making sense of possible mistreatment?
What?
The report also says that there have been 6 show level execs and 9 showrunners who have decided to leave the show for whatever reason. So they're alleging that high turnover might have something to do with the smoke that possibly could be, or alleged to be, coming from the Tonight Show studios.
Jay, there's high turnovers in every industry. Again, people get fired all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe they just weren't good at their job.
I have noticed that with these allegations, they're similar to that of the complaints, which unfortunately seem to have been true, about Ellen DeGeneres with her show. So, how could this situation mirror that of the Ellen DeGeneres show?
I don't know, man. It's two different circumstances, two different controls two different people.
Yeah.
Could like I said, could executives be abusing their powers? It's possible. All this is possible.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's what happens in these environments sometimes.
Mhm.
Do I approve of it? No,
No.
but a lot of times, a lot of this goes on and nobody says it again because they didn't want to lose their jobs, first of all.
Thing. Right.
And I get that. I understand that. But if you're no longer employed there no more and you didn't get terminated, if you got terminated on or you left on your own accord, then speak up.
Mentality will be back in 2 and 2. The Mocha Minutes Podcast, a black person safe space. Well, I'll let Stephanie talk about it further.
You would be a Michael Jai White. I'm sorry. No. I like him. He's so pretty when he don't talk. Would Will Smith, if this was a white comedian, would he went up and slapped him? Would y'all have a problem with it if it was a white comedian doing this? People who say water or wash, I'm like, how did wash get an R in it? Stand up. I don't know why 5 heartbeats just popped in my head. Stand up.
From entertainment to society and culture, that comprises of the Mocha Minutes Podcast, hosted by Stephanie. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break with AJ, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at noon Central. Welcome back to Mentality, the show that is created for all men. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, and we're going to go to an area that my partner is very familiar with. I know he's familiar with it because, well, you see it pour out of him. And what do I mean? Well, here's something to ponder. The mayor of the Big Apple, Eric Adams, says he does not see an end to the ongoing migrant crisis, which he also said it will destroy the nation's most populous city. During a town hall meeting in the Upper West Side last week, the Democrat politician expressed the severity of his concerns about the constant flow of asylum seekers entering the city, citing them as a financial burden and a factor for multiple rounds of budget cuts to the city agencies. The former police officer also said that 10,000 migrants are entering every month, and the city is not receiving any support on this said national crisis. He went on to say in that meeting, quote, "Never in my life have I had a problem. Did I not see an ending to? I don't see an ending to this. All of us are going to be impacted by this." Close quote. At one point, migrants were coming from Venezuela, but now people are entering from Ecuador, Mexico, Russia, and parts of Western Africa, the mayor added. Mayor Adams also said that every aspect of community in the city is going to be impacted as a $12 billion, and that's B, not an M, $12 billion deficient leads to budget cuts for every city service. Now, I will start the questioning this way. What is the advantage of being a sanctuary city if a national crisis would result?
This cities being tricked into saying, "Oh yes, you'll have the government support, you'll have the federal support if you're a sanctuary city, and take these immigrants off our hands and bring them into your city." But yet you're cutting funding. They're not seeing funding, any federal aid whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, what is it that they expect these people to do? Like, what jobs do they expect them to get? Because they can't work,
right?
All I can see is maybe the state puts them to work. I don't know. Might maybe help them find. I don't know the solution. I'm not a politician. This isn't what I do, but something needs to be done. Some money needs to be allocated for this. If you the Democratic Party, because this is the party that really is endorsing all
this. Yeah, they champion this, right?
You need to figure out a way to get these sanctuary cities some funding. Something needs to be done. It's sad to see my city going through this, but this is kind of why I moved out. Like, it was time for me to move out the city and go into the mountains and into the woods, man. It's pretty much more peaceful. I'm realizing that I had enough years of the city, and it's time for me to get away. And I don't know, maybe some New Yorkers should consider moving out. Not to Florida though. Just do not move to Florida.
Because I was about to say, it seems like when New Yorkers do move,
they move to
Florida.
I need to stop.
Why has this situation turned into a political issue rather than a human one?
Because each side wants to appease their fan base. They want to appease.
I love the fact you use the word fan base. That's exactly how I feel.
Because that's what it is. These people like groupies, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy that it's coming to this. We need to. I guess we as Americans need to find something to figure this out and get a solution for this. But this is supposed to be the land of opportunity, right? A lot of us come from immigrant backgrounds. If these people come here to work, put them to work. There's a lot of, listen, y'all want to talk about there's no jobs. There's the jobs out there, man. There's jobs people don't want to do.
That's correct.
So put these people to work. Make them earn their keep. If you're gonna be in this country, give them, I don't know, a temporary green card, whatever it is, temporary working papers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a specialized social security number, however y'all want to do. I don't. This is where y'all talking about. There's no labor, there's no jobs, there's no people that want to start finding communities that need workers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was gonna say Florida, but Florida doesn't want them picking their oranges either. So
how can New York City be a sanctuary city and still have resources enough resources available for everyone.
They need help. The government has to provide something, and we're in so much debt. It's just ridiculous, man. It's funny that we help everyone else in the world, but we can't fix the problems that we have here at home. If we have an immigration issue, y'all need to start doing something to repair it, fix it. Like, and closing the borders is not going to work because people are going to get here either way. We have to find a way to aid these people in helping them become productive part of society. Everybody always overcrowding, man. Please, because all y'all do is live in these cities. There's a big country out there. A lot of rural parts that need help. That's where a lot of these people are farmers, come from countries where they work on farms. Why would you not want? I don't want to say slavery, but why wouldn't you want to employ people who want to work, or at least offer the opportunity to people that want to work?
How in the world can this system of immigration, broken as it is, be fixed?
By getting out these ancient dinosaurs out of office, like getting these people that are stuck on the past and not focus on the future and focusing on how to solve this issue and how to work with these governments, and so that they don't want to come. Like, we have so much influence and power, but what are we doing with it? We're not doing the proper things with it. We're not really. We're stuck on whatever the agenda is right now, and immigration is the problem. It really is. But we continue with these same leaders that have been in office 30, 40, 50 years, seeing this happen, right? Seeing this all grow and develop, and waiting last minute to truly do something, when you could have had jump on this years ago and focused on how are we going to solve this, how are we going to work on building this and making sure that people who do come into this country legally, or we get these people documented and find a way to make them again a part of society, contributing part of society.
Later, we will have Thoughts from the Throne. This is Mentality. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and the Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Doc, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome to Mentality, where it is the ultimate masculine safe space. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, and it is time for us to unveil something that we haven't done in a while, and it's time to do it. Welcome to Brotherhood Goals. Now, there's a show on the BS3 network named The Forecast, and back in July, the cast of Ben Southern III, and I chuckle because I always greet him as the owner, the manipulator, and the operator of the BS3 network.
BS3 network, yes.
Ivan Dawkins or King Dog, H-Rap B or Brian Williams, and there is a clip that I'm about to show you about vulnerability from our brother David Wilkes, aka Mayhem, aka Undercover 5-star Chef. And what you're about to see is an example of brotherhood that needs to happen all the time. And here it is.
I'm gonna give it something that I don't think is gonna happen again. Y'all may shoot it down, but it's unprecedented. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Whoa!
Okay. I'll put you there for the 5. If you are. Did you start? Did you start at the 5 before the review too?
I started at a 5, but there was just things in that moment where, like I said, he was trying to kill those old versions of him, those copied versions of him, because I've been that person. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to separate myself from that person, but you can't really separate yourself from that person. You have to grow with that person and nurture that person.
Thank you. Preach, bro.
That was just me, man. I've done some dirt, man, and that just kind of that just resonated with me, man, because I've tried to crucify and kill that person.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you.
I have to live with that, and I have to take that person to the grave with me. So.
Thank you, Wilkes. That was gospel, brother.
Come on, Wilkes. Come on, Wilkes. That's why we do this.
I heard that, man.
That's why we do this.
I heard that.
I appreciate you saying that.
It was big, so sorry.
And I love it, man. I absolutely love it, man.
That's what we do.
I love it. I love it. I don't think it's enough men out there who can get down, who will get down like that. So in such a vulnerable way, man, because it is necessary. You have no idea that the vulnerability is your strength. And I think we've all been through that same thing, man, to where we had to, that look in the mirror, man. If you can't do it, matter of fact, I got news for you. I'm the kind of dude who I'll practice it. I'll look at myself in the mirror frequently just to make sure I still can,
Ron go with this comment, man.
Yeah.
Man, we all about to share some too. He said,
"Oh boy, you ain't lying, Wonga. You hear that, man? You read that comment, Wilkes, that Wonga said, man. That is a repentance in the way that it was intended to be. See, here's that interpretation of that scripture that says, "Confess your faults one to another." You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of folks don't get that, man, and that's what he just did.
Last week.
And that was courtesy of the BS3 network. Thank you to Ben. Thank you to King Dog. Thank you to H-Rap-B. And definitely thank you to Wilkes. Those 4 brothers are absolutely awesome. Now, the reason why I showed that clip is that I believe this is what brotherhood is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look and sound exactly like that. And when I see it, I want to champion it. And I know when you see it, you want to champion it too. So,
yes. And that moment, yeah, and that moment right there, you just really see that he really let a part of himself out right there, man.
He did.
That movie really resonated with him in some aspects, and
Yeah.
I feel him, man. A lot of the things he said, I could relate to.
Yeah,
a lot of the things like when you try to eliminate that person that you used to be, or and kill them off, but what you're failing to realize that that's a part of you.
Yep.
That yeah. It wasn't. Sometimes we do things that we aren't proud of.
Yeah.
Saying me and Poppy, we discuss all the time. We've come from a background where we're not proud of a lot of things that we did, but and we've tried to eliminate those people, but but they are part of who we are. They again, like I said, we aren't proud of a lot of things we did.
Yeah,
but it's a part of who we are and a part of who we are becoming.
Right.
We no longer want to go back to who those people were.
Right.
I'm saying our goal is to be a better person. And that's we battle that every day. We battle this every day where we try to become a better person every day, a better version of ourselves every day.
Yeah.
And for
for
Wilkes to do that, and then the way the guys responded, man, like
it was just beautiful.
it's okay, this is great, and
that was
that's a perfect situation where to me it felt like he really was just being authentic and just being himself, and it was just he was caught up in that moment.
Yeah.
And we've all had that. I've had that a few times where I get caught up in the moment, and you just like you just gotta let it out.
Yeah.
Like one of my first is like last year for International Women's Day. I spoke on my first event, and I had no speaking experience, and but I had a guest on my show, and she wanted me to be a part of her event. When I spoke there, I broke down when I talked about my wife and losing her and all the struggles that I went through.
Right.
But it was just me being myself, being able to speak to these women and show them that regardless of what we've been through in life and the struggles we've been through in life, there's always a glimmer of hope that you'll overcome whatever your struggles are.
We could rush to, wow, it was cool for Wilkes to be that vulnerable, which it was. It was cool to see him be that transparent.
But it was even much more amazing to have those brothers not, because you know how it is. They could have easily been joking him and cracking. Oh, dude, why you crying?
Why are you crying, man?
No.
You shedding tears?
But it just shows you the maturity, the level of maturity
of the other three,
and let them know that this is our brother showing a vulnerable side of himself. And it's not the time for us to joke on him. Like maybe off the air later on, I'll crack a joke like, but
and probably did too. Yeah.
But on the air, like you got to be supportive and be like, yeah, brother, we're here for you. Let it out. We feel, we all understand. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we create the content that we create, because we want to let guys know that it's okay to show your vulnerable side. It's fine.
Right.
We're not saying you can't show vulnerability.
Right.
We can't. You can't.
No.
But we also can't. We also don't want to use it as a crutch.
Exactly. Because if used improperly, it can be used as one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No about that. But we both have a good understanding with the Forecast brothers and with Wilkes to know that was not a crutch moment. That was this brother was laying this guy was being real, and he laid his emotions bare.
Yeah. And I applaud him for that. I applaud and I applaud the guys for the way they handled it. It was shout out to everybody at the Forecast. You brothers, I love the show. It's a great show.
Yeah, show's great.
So it was just one of those moments where again, they talk about brothers can't work together, 4 men of colors can't work together, and look at this moment where four brothers got together, and 3 of them seen one of them was having a moment, and they had his back.
Yep.
And they showed solidarity, and they showed that, hey, we're brothers. We'll get through this. Go ahead, brother. We here
Yeah.
for you. We let
Here
it
for
out.
you.
And again, shout out to them. And it's amazing, man. It's beautiful to see stuff like that.
It is, man. It is. And yes. When have you ever felt embarrassed in sharing your vulnerability with other men?
Never.
Why aren't spaces like this encouraged among most men?
Because again, that's how they control us. They don't want us to be in these spaces. They don't want us to be able to express ourselves and not allow for us to be judged because we're human. Just because we want to be able to express ourselves, be able to have our voices heard. Like, being a man is not easy. Like, it's
ain't. No, sir.
You're relied upon on so many different things, and then if you don't deliver, you're made fun of. You're labeled. You're not a man. You're not a provider. And it's, listen, everybody goes to their struggles. There's moments when everybody's up, and there's moments where, but it's how you deal with those moments. It's how you, like, are you gonna wallow? Are you gonna wallow in all your misery and everything that's going on, or are you gonna dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and rebound and move on to greatness?
And now, thoughts from the throne.
All right, so the NF season is upon us. As of this recording, the only game that was played was the upset of the defending Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs by the Detroit Lions. By who I picked that game. I chose the Lions, by the way, just so everybody know. But
oh my God.
Yeah, the NFL season is here. My Giants play a very important game Sunday night against our arch nemesis, Dallas Cowboys. I really need a win. I'm praying, God. I'm really praying because I really want to rub it in Marvin Otero's face that the Giants are here. Yes, I have to rub it in his face, man. I fired the first shot. Yes, I admit it. I fired the first shot because I was tired of him sending these memes about the Cowboys. So I fired the first few shots. And I need to be able to win this weekend to fire some more shots. And yeah, I'm being this closing thoughts from the throne is basically me being petty. Yes, I am petty. I am upset. We are 0-10 the last 10 games. Something has to change. Something has to change. So, Giants, please listen to me. I'm begging you. Win. I need to end this. I need to be able to respond to Cowboy fans and not with my head bowed down. So, let's go Giants. I'm starting a new thing. Dallas.
Oh Lord. Oh my gosh, no.
And that's my thoughts from the throne.
So I literally was just minding my own business. I really was not paying attention to anything but my work. And I actually was leading a meeting at work when I received a phone call that I didn't recognize the number. And then about a half hour later, my wife calls me and she says, well, this number called and this person said that they knew you. And we talked about it. And then all of a sudden my mind cleared up and I realized, wow, this was a literal blast from the past. So cut to the evening when I called this number and we talked for about a half hour, and it was a really good conversation, one that I didn't think I needed, for one reason. This person was a childhood friend of my ex-wife. And toward the end of that conversation, I asked about her, and the moment that she said that, yeah, she's married and she's living a wonderful life, I felt so free. I could not tell you how wonderful that felt. And what I realized is I went into another realm of closure. I felt released and I felt free and I felt peaceful and I felt joy when I heard her say that. So to the old friend that I hadn't talked to in almost 20 years, thank you for that phone call. I needed it because I gained a closure I did not know I needed to have. And now I've gained more joy because of it, thanks to you. And those are thoughts from the throne. So is there anything else that you have to say before we do let the mentality audience go?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I've retired Boston, man. I'm over Boston.
I know you've retired Boston.
I've retired Boston, but that Dallas thing might be catching on.
Thank you guys so very much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and for hitting the notifications bell for any and all content that emanates from the Real Wize TV channel or from the Comey Media Incorporated YouTube channel. And it is a joy and a pleasure for us to bring content like this to all of you. So we thank you very, very much. And that concludes another installment and episode of Mentality. For Wize Jelefe, I am Cole Johnson, here to say in parting as we always do. Our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week. F Dallas, goodness gracious.
That's 100.